Hi guys, today we will do a very famous Google interview question, Pots of Gold game. So it's a game basically where two players are playing, player one and player two. So think it like that. We have given a series of coins and kept on the table in a row, and and each coin has its value. For example, there are four coins which are kept. First coin has value 8, second coin has value 15, third coin has value 3, and fourth coin has value 7 associated. So now let's say player one starts the game and he can basically picks the coin from the ends of the row. I mean both ends of the row. For example, he can pick either 8 or he can pick from coin last coin which has value 7, but he cannot pick anything from the middle or so whatever coin player one picked, and let's say player one picked 8, and now next time player two plays, he can either pick 15 or 7, and let's say player two picked 15, and next time when player one will play, he can pick either 3 or 7. So like this. And at the end goal of this is at the end uh, we have to return what maximum coins or maximum value player one can get. So we have to think like both are playing optimally, but what's the maximum value player one can get? Okay, so now let's start. Let's understand first how basically if you're playing manually, right? If you're playing this game, how you will play this. So we are given two players, player one and player two. Player one plays. He picked a coin of value 8. Now player two's turn comes and he has two options, 15 and 7. So player one picked 8, player two has two options, 15 and 7, because he can only pick from the ends, and now 8 is already gone because player one picked. So let's say now if player 2 pick 15, right? Now next time player 1 plays, player 1 will have two options, 3 and 7. And if let's say player 2 pick 7, then next time player 1 will have two options, 15 and 3. So like this, we have to try all possible combinations in the code, and we have to return the combination which returns the maximum value for player 1. Let's a little bit uh, uh, let's try to solve this. So let's say player two picked 15, right? And player two picked 15. Now player one has two options, 3 and 7. Let's say player one picked 7. Now the maximum he can get is 15, because next time only one coin left, which definitely player two will pick. Second option is let's say player 2 picked 7, right? So player 1 will have left with two options, 15 and 3, and let's say player 1 picked 15. Now maximum he can get is 23. Okay, so we can say that again only one value 3 left, which again player 2 will pick. So what maximum value we can get is 23. Okay, so like this we have to try the combinations. So let's now see how we will solve this problem programmatically. So let's say this is my array, okay, and these are the indexes 0, 1, 2, and 3. Or let's start it with 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now player 1. So it's player one's turn. Okay, so let's say player 1 picked ith item. Let's say I starts from 1 and player 1 picked the first item, which is 8. Now and next time player 2 turn comes and player 2 has two options, 15 and 7. Let's say player 2 picked 15th, right? Basically player 2 picked the I plus 1th item and or jth item. These are the options player 2 have, right? Let's say player 2 picked this one. This is gone. So now next time player 1's turn comes, so he will have only these two options, which is I plus 2 and jth. I plus 2 and jth. Jth item he can pick. This is the only option. Or if player 2 picks the seven item 7, let me pick the different color. Let's say player 2 pick the 7. Now next time these two options are left, right? Now next time player 1's turn comes, he can pick either I plus 1 or n minus j minus 1th item. I plus 1, I plus 1 and j minus 1. These are the options player 1 will have, right? If he picks the ith item. Now let's say player 1 picks the jth item first. He doesn't pick this item. Instead he picks the last item, which is the jth item. Now we'll see if he picks the last item, what's the maximum profit he can get and what all possible options he will have. So let's say player 1 picked the 7. Now player 2 will have two options, 3 and 8. 8 and 3. Okay. So let's say player 2 picked 8. Now next time, so now player 2 picked the 8. Now possible values are 15 and 3. Okay. And let's say player 2 picked the 3. Now possible values are 8 and 15 for player 1. So these are the two options we have, right? So let's say player 2 picked the 8, and now next time player 1 will have two options, I plus 1 and j minus 1. That's what we have to write, I plus 1 and j minus 1. Okay, now let's say player 2 picked 3. Now player 1 will have these two options, ith and j minus 2. So basically we will calculate these in using recursion and whatever. So this will give us one result and this will give us one result. So whatever gives us the maximum, that will be the answer. Okay. So basically maximum of this should be our answer. Okay. Let me show you the code quickly. So this is a code I have pushed on my GitHub account, so you can go through quickly. I'll give you a walkthrough. Fine. So now let's say there is only a one coin. Only one coin is given. Let's say 8. Okay. Now there are two players playing. Player 1 is definitely since player 1's turn will come first, so player 1 will definitely pick this item. So we'll just simply return that item. For example, if n equals to 1, then we'll simply return that item. And if there are two items given, let's say 8 and 15, so since player 1 is playing first, so he will just we'll just compare whatever is the maximum of these two. We'll return that. Like for example, 8 and 15. So we are calculating the maximum of 8 and 15, and whatever is that will be our result. So here we are just initializing an matrix to like I'll cover that part later. And again, this is the main method, a recursive function, which is um which has the basically core logic to solve this problem. So if I equals to j, then return the coin. This is like if there is only one item left. For example, this case, or if this is a recursive function, right? If there is one item, I equals to j, we will return that value of that item. And if I plus 1 equals to j, which is uh, if there are two items, right? Uh, I plus 1, this is, let's say your start I is 1, 1 plus 1 equals to 2. That's basically you are left with only two items, so you'll just return the maximum from them. Now the logic which we discussed, let me see if I can. Yes, so this is what which we discussed, right? The same thing we have to write in the code. So there are two options, option 1 and option 2. In option 1, player 1 picks the ith coin, which is just he picks the coins I, which we have written, and next he is basically next all options we are calculating in a recursive function. Um, so next time he will have two options, I plus 2 and j, and second option he will have is I plus 1 and j minus 1. Okay, now if the player 1 picks the jth coin, now next time he will have two options, I and j minus 2 and I plus 1 and j minus 1. So basically we are doing the minimum at least so and so yeah, so we are doing math.min, whatever minimum result of this plus the value of coin, and same for the option 2. And here we are basically calculating a maximum of these two options, mat.max option 1 dot option 1 comma option 2, and we are storing the result in a 2D matrix. So matrix size is if there are 4 rows, 4 columns, so we are basically storing the whatever results we are calculating, right? For I and j, we are storing that result into the this matrix. This is called the memoization of dynamic programming. This is called the memoization approach of dynamic programming. Basically, if the same ith I and j, let's say you already calculate the result of 2 comma 2, right? There is, let's say, the maximum value, you know that it will return 14. And again, you while solving some other sub problem, same index you encounter 2 comma 2, since you already calculated this value 14, right? So you return from there the value which is calculated already, instead of doing the same instead of solving the same sub problem again and returning the result. So that's what, like first we are initializing this matrix as minus 1. Whenever we are calculating any result, we are just storing that result into the matrix. And before calculating, we are checking if this result is, let's say your I is 2 and j is 2, and you are before moving ahead, you are just checking if this result is calculated already, then you are just returning that. Calculated already means that value this will not be minus 1 in that case. Yeah, so that's all. And talking about the space complexity, since you are storing the results of results, right, into the 2D matrix dpij, and that will be n square. So if I is 4 and j is 4, so you will be you are storing the 16 values into this 2D matrix, right? So your space complexity will be O of n square, or you can call it O of I into j, whatever is your this given, right? So definitely this will be same. So O n square should be the space complexity, and time complexity will be O of n square, which is very clear. So if you want to like go through this solution, so I'll just add this. You can navigate to this link, which I'm going to add in video description. You can go through this, and if you have any questions, so please do comment on my video. I'll try to reply that. And if you like my video, please give me thumbs up and also subscribe my channel to see more such videos. Thank you.